Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to the fifth episode of Have to Improve Weekly with me, Eugene Artiles. And today we having such a great guest. Please, guys, we don't hear the applause like in the TV, but it's still the same vibe. Welcome, Amdi McErnest. Okay, so I'm gonna let him speak in a bit, guys. Don't worry, I'm gonna shut my mouth and he will be able to speak. But let me just introduce him really quick. Amdi is an actor. He's a personal coach. He's an artist all around. He sings, he dances, and he acts. He's like all around. He's like the proper LeBron James of art, as it is. I don't know if he does any painting. I don't think so. But in the rest, he's absolutely killer. So how are you doing today, my brother? Tell me.
I'm great, thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me. I'm actually a huge supporter of this movement that you've been doing. I've been following up with your videos. I am absolutely, excited to be on this platform because it's all about having a voice, and this is one of those platforms where you can have a voice and speak your truth and be heard as well. So I'm really excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
Hey man, it's my pleasure and thank you. The main purpose of my channel, my podcasting, everything I do is to help people. But firstly, I'm helping myself firsthand, and everyone that is watching this video after we put it on the web, everyone is gonna learn from this. I'm telling you. So just tell me, how have you been with COVID? How has been? Because you have your personal personal training company and brand. How has it been for you since all the gyms are closed and we cannot go outside to do sports as much as we could before?
I mean, it was really hard at first. It was really hard. It hit me very hard because I'm a I like to multitask. I know they always say that men can't do two things at once, just women, which, I mean, my utmost respect for women as well, but I feel like men can. Like, if we focus enough, we're able to achieve those things. So it was very difficult for me in the start. I literally just didn't know where to start from because I had lost my job due to the pandemic. I was working. I used to I was sort of I would say I used to host events in restaurants. So I would have musical artists come there and perform. I'll do gigs, performances. I'll have poets come in and, entertainment. So that shut down. So I lost that job. I got another job, but this job only lasted for 8 weeks because it was a festival job, because we were not sure at the time if festivals were going to be canceled, right? Because so many people had bought tickets and there'd been so much money invested in it. And then all of a sudden I did the job for about 8 weeks and they had to let me go. So I didn't know where to start from. People were scared to come out of their house. I just didn't have no clients at the time. It was very difficult for me. I had also lost my mom at that time. I was absolutely running mad. I don't know if there's another way to put it, but I feel like mental health was my situation at the time. I mean, it was even beyond mental health. It was depression. It was all types of things that I was going through. I had rent, I had bills to pay that I didn't know how I was going to pay it. So that's how bad it was for me at the time. Yes.
That's great, because the main reason, guys, I knew Amdi in class because we both study at Identity School of Acting. So I met Amdi in acting classes, and I wanted to invite him to my podcast because he's a warrior, guys. I don't know. He's been through everything and he's still smiling and being happy. And the topic of today is mental health. Amdi, and I'm going to ask some questions to Amdi because he has a great story, as I told you guys, and it's going to be great. So just tell me, for you, what is mental health?
That's a really, really good first question. So mental health for me is, I mean, in terms of the World Health Organization. I mean, mental health is a state of mind, a state of well-being, which an individual realizes, his or her abilities, right? How you cope with normal stresses of life, how, the length of your productivity, how you're able to make contributions to your community. It's your emotional, your psychological, your social well-being. It affects how you think, how you feel, how you act. It determines how we just handle our situation at any given time. Because as you know, there will be some times when you're down, when you're energetic. How do you handle that? That is mental health. How do you deal with trials and tribulations of life? How do you do that? What is the state of your mental health? How are you going to cope with that? And however you deal with it, that's the level of your mental health. Because everybody should be aware of their mental health. Everybody suffers from it, whether they know it or not. It's just how you handle it. So that is what it is to me.
That was well described. Can't lie. It's such a sensitive. I don't think it's that sensitive, but I think society has made it very a sensitive matter to talk about, which I think people should be open about it. In terms of if you're not feeling well, like sharing it with someone, because mental health. I mean, you could have a bad knee and it will hurt and it will affect, let's say, the way you walk. But your mental health will affect the way you move, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you react about things. It affects your whole completely body. I'm telling you, because your head is the one that coordinates, manages everything that works in your body. So if it's not working at its 100%, it's gonna be mistakes. But it's such a complicated thing to talk about with some people, because they just have like their own luck and they don't want to share. So do you think people sometimes realize they have mental health? Like, how do you know you have mental health?
I think it's all about the mental health awareness. A lot of people might, be suffering from mental health, but they don't know about mental health. Like I was having a conversation the other day with a family member of mine. Originally, my parents are Nigerian. Back in Nigeria, people didn't know about mental health. I remember when I was in school, because my father was a gynecologist, a medical doctor here, and he moved back to Nigeria when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I remember going to Nigeria, and because I was light skinned, when I was in school, people used to make fun of me. People used to bully me. People used to make jokes that when they hit me, my skin would turn red, things like that. And it affected me, but I tried to be tough about it. That was for me where those kind of situations happen. It can start from when you're a child. It can start from being bullied. It could start from being sexually harassed or assaulted, but you have to be aware of what mental health is. Because if you don't know what mental health is, you're going to be in a situation where you don't know what's wrong with you. And then you have people committing suicides. You have people being depressed, having all types of situations because they don't know about it. So I think it should be educated. People need to know about mental health. And that is how you relate it with what you're going through. If you ever feel in a situation where you don't want to be around people, you want to be by yourself, you feel uncomfortable, that is mental health. Eating disorders, so many different things that we're going to obviously talk about, that is mental health. So the most important thing about mental health is education, people being educated about it, right? I could have complained to a few people, oh my God, I was a kid in school in Nigeria. They used to bully me. They used to beat me, hit my skin, make fun of me. Our unfortunate European, this and that, all types of things. These were things that I suffered. And I was only about 6-7 years old, right? But they wouldn't understand that is mental health. They won't understand that those are the kind of things that would result in you going through certain things. Because you know what? I say the most important thing is whatever you deal with as a child, it lives with you for the rest of your life. Believe it or not, my most fond memories and my worst memories as from when I was a child. That is, you are always going to be that child that you've always been, no matter how you see it. All you do while you're growing up is just conforming. You know, like while you're growing up, you're conforming, you're adapting, you're becoming a man. What becoming a man, it just means handling situations differently. But that person that you were when you were a child, it will never leave you until the day that you're no more. So that is my point.
Being honest with you, that's something very critical, because the issues we have when in our early stage of life, they'll be with us for the rest of your life. Clearly, some people don't know how to overcome that issues. Some people learn to live with them, but it's impossible to erase them from your mind. It's just impossible. The best way to do it is obviously okay, this happened, but it's in the past. I need to move forward. I understand what happened. I learned from it. It was a hard or a bad episode in my life, but I need to keep going. I cannot let the things that happened to me when I was a kid disturb me from my goals or the things that I need to do now. And you know, something that is very bad. Like, this is something that they never taught us in school. Like, we didn't have mental health classes in. At least I never had them in Spain or even here.
100%.
Obviously, there is psychologists, there's professionals available, but you know, I think the society nowadays, they want men to be strong. You know, like, as soon as there's many people out there, and especially I think it could happen with like people like parents, old-fashioned parents. You could go with them and tell them about some issue or some concern you have, and they will be like, they will tell you, just don't be soft, deal with it like a man.
Exactly.
It's crazy, because what does it mean that just because I'm a man, I cannot feel bad, I cannot cry, I cannot just feel like nothing is worth it in life, or I just don't want to even, because I'm telling you, 100%, every single human in life has thought at least once in life to take their life, at least once. Because, you know, sometimes you are in that dark hole that you don't see the light. You just don't see the light. No matter whoever you have around you, no matter how good is your life, you know, mental health is so important. And some people think that mental health can be solved with easy things like, let's say, money. If money is the solution for everything, why there are like millionaires committing suicide?
Exactly.
That's what I mean. And I don't know, how do you think the society perceives mental health? Because from my point of view, I just see that there is different approaches, but in terms of like, men is seen in a different way than women. Like, because they expect men to act in a certain way, you know, being strong, being confident, being be always looking like nothing is wrong. But you know, sometimes everything can be wrong inside us, but we just like put in like a shield so people could not read underneath what we're feeling. You know what I mean?
I understand that totally. In terms of how the society perceive mental health, like I said, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of people are ignorant. A lot of people are very ignorant. Like, you know what's worse than mental health, right? What's worse than mental health is stigma and discrimination. That can worsen mental health. And those people that discriminate people for having mental health or going through certain things, they're part of the causes of mental health. And I'm not calling anyone out here, but I'm just speaking the truth. You know what I mean? They drive people into social isolation. People that are having issues with poor housing, you have people making fun of them. Like that's their fault for being in that situation. People are unemployed. People are in poverty. Some people make jokes about them. Oh, maybe we should take the prices up so we can get rid of these poor people forever. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, it's funny, but like just for a second. But when you think about it, these people are the primary causes of mental health. So we have a lot of ignorant people. There's a lot of people that have great platforms, loads of followers. What are you doing with that? What are you sharing to be? Are you making people's lives better? We are in this life for a purpose. What is your contribution? Right? There's a reason why you're in a situation. Once you're in that situation, what are you doing with that situation? These are the questions that need to be asked. So for me, perception of mental health, the people that know, they know, right? The people that know, they know, because when they see someone, the people that know about it, when you see someone going through mental health, oh my God, you will speak to them with a really low tone and you're like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you good? Do you need help with anything? Your voice comes down, because I know people that have, like I said, suffered from, just committed suicide. They've suffered from mental health and they committed suicide, right? And these are the situations that we're speaking about. So we have to address these matters immediately.
Something, when we talk about mental health, it's just such a thing that makes me like process every word you say in such a way, because the society that we live in today is chaotic. And with this, I mean, there is like this situation that some people will just classify you as being soft just because you open up yourself, in terms
exactly
of, in terms of like telling someone why you're going through, or just open yourself to someone. They will just mock you, even though some people are in a bad situation. They don't have food, they don't have money, they don't have they have nothing to for tomorrow, let's say. But they won't say nothing because they will feel ashamed, or they will be thinking like, what people are gonna tell me. They are always like thinking about what's gonna be the response of others, which I don't think this should worry anyone. You should live your life truly to yourself, and you should never take personal what others say to you, unless it's like a close friend or a family member. I'm talking about, would you advise any friend of yours with mental health issues to take professional help or support, let's say? Have you had this situation before?
Yes, of course. I've had so many friends that they don't portray as mental health, but they say a few things, and I'm like, look, I'm a victim to mental health. I am a victim, 100%, 100%. But I've always been a fighter, from when I was 14 years old, when I lost my dad when I was 14 years old. So most of my friends that I know that are going through certain things, I always say, you know what? Get support. Think positive. To put yourself in a good mood, start working out. Start taking up challenges. You understand what I mean? Do certain things to get you out of. Take a vacation if you can. Get out of that space that you're in. And of course, once you change your environment, you might feel a bit better. When I lost my dad, I went on a vacation. I remember I went to America, and it was a change of environment. I was hanging out with people that cared about me and whatnot, and it made me feel better. But obviously, you're still going to be going through that pain. No one is saying that there's going to be an instant solution. But like I said, once you change your environment, you take up some exercise classes, you do some yoga, some meditation, that would help. And then you seek professional help. That is my advice.
Do you think people can get over mental health issues without medication?
To be fair, it just depends on your state of mind. I would recommend medication, which is, that's one aspect of it. And then also self-love. Of course. Don't forget to love yourself. Part of the reason why I even felt like, God rest his soul, my dad, why I felt like I lost my dad was because my dad was a gynecologist, a medical doctor. He focused on helping people. He didn't really check for himself as much as he should have. If he was doing his health check every single year, you know what I mean? If he was doing certain things that, that would obviously make him feel like, oh, I need to have a look at myself. That would have, he would have known, if he had any kind of infection or anything that was sort of like building up or whatnot, but he was focused on his job. So the most important thing that I tell people, self-love. You have to look after yourself. You have to put yourself first. It's important. It's important. It's imperative, because you have to love. Once you love yourself, you can love someone else.
Yeah. And that's completely right. That's why I spoke about with my friends about a lot about mental health, and I see some of my friends, they just wanna, like, maybe they finish one relationship, a really toxic, let's say, relationship, and they just want to jump into another one. And I'm like, bro, please, you need to fix yourself you need to love yourself, because now you are not
yourself. Yes.
You are not in a good position now to just like go and try something else with someone, and this, you need to like love yourself. You need to invest time in yourself. You need to learn about yourself, know everything about yourself the most you can. You need to spend time with yourself alone in order to understand what's going on in your head, like analyzing your thoughts. Because many times let's say the picture is this size. Sometimes we see the picture in a tiny corner, and we make such a big thing of it when it's just a corner of a massive picture. I think humans dramatize some situations too much. But that's why mental health is important. Because you learn also when you do practice in mental health in order like how to analyze and how to process your thoughts in a better way, because sometimes the situation is not that bad, but we don't have no one that is helping us. We don't have a positive circle around us, people that will tell you it's all right, you will get over it, bro. Because sometimes I think having the right circle and having the right people next to you is better than any medication in this planet. If you have like not 10 friends, you don't need 10, you don't need 5. If you have 2 friends or even 1 that is with you, and when you're feeling like shit, you can go to him, or let's say, Amdi, I'm feeling like shit, and you sit down with me and talk to me. And even sometimes, if I'm not feeling to talk to you, I'm like, I just don't want to talk with anybody. No problem, bro. You don't want to talk with me, I'll just be here for you. Anytime you want to talk to me, I'm here. You know what I mean?
Exactly. 100%. You are absolutely right. You need to surround yourself with people that genuinely care about you, because there's so many vampires and bloodsuckers that, they just want to leech on you when they feel like they can benefit something. And like, I've always said to myself that, oh my God, it's when the going gets tough, when you're in that wilderness in the dark and there's no light, but that light is at the end of the tunnel, but you can't see the light. You look around you, and who's gonna pick you up when you're down? Those people that pick you up, because a lot of people are gonna run away for sure, and they wouldn't be that patient to be around and help you. So personally, it's all about the kind of people that you keep around you. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you find out that the people that help you are total strangers. They're not even related to you in any way whatsoever. I can testify to that. I remember one of my friends, I barely knew this guy I didn't even know him for 3 months, 4 months. But the amount of support that he showed me when I lost my mother, like, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Like, I said to myself, that's when I knew that, look, life, there's a saying that says wonders shall never end. Like, there's always something that's going to happen. You're going to be like, did that just happen? Oh my God, I am amazed. So that is the point I'm trying to make.
Life is full of surprises in every way. Life is full of surprises, and you never know what to expect. That's why I think we need to have our brain, our mental health needs to be, or we need to like always try to have it on a certain positive point, because I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where you are, what do you have. If your brain is not flowing positively, there's just no way that.
That's a problem.
Because it's like let's say it might rain, but the sun will rise again. But some people just focusing on the rain. Oh, it's raining. But other people is like, yeah, it's raining now, but the sun will come after. They're just positive. Not gonna lie to you, I feel depression myself. I feel moments that I've been in my house, like laying down in the sofa, not wanting to talk to anyone, and
That's right.
and probably there is no one that could help me. Because sometimes what you need is to understand yourself and to talk to yourself. Sometimes you need people. It's always good to have like good people around you that they show you their love. But sometimes you just need to understand yourself and talk to yourself as we've been talking. Because
100%.
I've been like in the sofa for like 2-3 days, and I was thinking that I'm not doing enough in life. I'm maybe like I even thought I thought sometimes like I was a loser, because we ourselves, we are our bigger critics. So we criticize ourselves a lot.
100%.
Yeah, like, and some people will come to you and they will tell you did great, but your first thought is always gonna be, nah, that was shit. And you could feel that like when we do in class, when we perform, sometimes people are amazed with your performance. People will clap, they'll tell you, Amdi, Eugenia, that was something else. But then inside yourself, you won't believe them, and
You're like, nah.
and you'll be like, that was shit. And I don't understand why people are like amazed about it, because it's nothing special. So that's bad. That's very bad. But it's okay if you do it in a positive way. Like, you can tell to yourself, well, you could have done it better, but it's alright. You will have another chance. But when you tell you that it's shit, that is bad, you're already like throwing stones and rocks over your own roof, and that's not healthy. So that's why sometimes I'm trying to have a positive approach to my negative thoughts, if that makes sense.
Of course. That is the ultimate. That's ultimacy. Because you know what I'll tell you, my brother, like, it's all in the mind. The mind is the most powerful weapon ever. The mind is so powerful. It is so powerful. I mean, we're talking about mental health. I mean, there's emotional health. There is psychological health. There's all types of health departments living in the human body. When I say the mind is so powerful, like, it is extremely powerful, and your mind will take you as far as you want it to take you.
But
I just have to add that.
No, and I'm completely agree with that, because something. At the end, if you think in this way, the brain is a tool. It's the most important tool, muscle, and let's say app, to put it like a bit technological, in the body. If you could build anything, you could do anything if your brain is willing to. Anything. There's nothing impossible to your brain. But also, if you want to trust your brain, if you want to talk bad about yourself, you want to pull you down, your brain is going to help you to do that. And trust me, it will make you feel the most loneliness, the most like the worst person in the planet. So you can choose how you would like to use your brain. Would I use my brain to become a better person, to help others, to inspire, to be someone, to provide for my people, for my family? Or would I use my brain in order to, like, let's say, to do wrong things, or just to like live a depressed life?
Exactly.
Because it's the approach you have to things.
100%.
So yeah, I also wanted to tell you something. You are a personal trainer. Have you worked and create, let's say, a routine do you have any client that has suffered mental health and a sport, how a sport has affected that person with mental health? what the routine that you have created to them has effect. With this, I mean, like, can a routine and can a sports help someone with serious mental health to feel better or to overcome the barrier of mental health, let's say?
I mean, like, another fantastic question. There's plenty of evidence, that supports the fact that physical activities is it has a profound and positive impact in mental well-being, right? Being physically active, it changes your mood, it decreases the chances of depression, anxiety, it leads to a better and more balanced lifestyle. Exercise saved my life. I wouldn't lie to you. I mean, I wouldn't be as confident as I am with so many things if it wasn't for exercise. I mean, I even stopped drinking soda when I was 14 years old. That's how crazy it is. Because like I said, going back, I always use my father as an example because that changed my life. And I always transcend that to my clients. Loads of my clients, at least 80% of them have suffered from mental health. It's either maybe they put on weight, their husbands is picking on them, or the husband will put on weight, the wife is making jokes about them, or a young girl is just basically going through weight issues. People are making fun of her at work, or her dress can't fit. She's stressed, all types of things, all types of situations. And that is mental health. Like, that is literally, look, it doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world. It could just be as little as experiencing something that's out of the ordinary. Exercise is 100% a medication for mental health, right? And I'm not talking, you don't have to run 50 miles a day. Give an example, Tyson Fury. I mean, my favorite boxer, at the moment is probably Anthony Joshua. But like I said, I didn't know that much about Tyson Fury until I listened to his story. And when I read his story, this guy, he put on over 200 pounds. He was suffering from mental health. He almost attempted suicide. A grown-ass man that was already successful. He went through all these things and he battled his way back. Nothing could break him after that. He went through the exercise. He went through different changes in his life. He kept on saying that if he doesn't exercise, he's going to go back to depression. It is something that takes your mind off things. Like, if you lock me in a room, and I'm going to say something that I've never said before anywhere on national TV or interviews, but I'm going to say it today, here and now. When I was 20 years old, exactly, let me just say 30, let's just say about 50 days before my 21st birthday, I got arrested in Cardiff. I ended up in jail. I went to court. They didn't give me bail. They threw me in the jail. I was there waiting for my judgment. I was there waiting, 20 years old. I was there waiting. My court dates was being moved around because they were investigating. Well, I was just I was at the wrong place at the right time, right? I was locked in a cell, my friend, and honestly speaking, what didn't I go through in that place? What type of mental health attack did I not have? You know what it means to be locked in a cell for there's 24 hours in a day. I was locked for 22 hours. I will come out for 1 hour. I was sitting down there, just literally just there thinking. Imagine thinking for 20 hours. This was what I was battling this. I told my mother that I was in Cardiff for a work placement. I couldn't even tell her where I was. Because why? I followed a few friends. I went somewhere with a few friends. I just got mixed up in some rubbish and I ended up there. I stayed there for almost 5 months. There was nothing that, I cried. Is it crying? I cried. The tears ran out of my eyes. The Bible, I read the whole Bible. Can you imagine that? From Genesis to Revelation. I read everything. I read it and I still didn't understand it. because I was in a state of mind where I needed to be rescued. I needed to be rescued. And I prayed 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 to God. I said, God, I don't belong here. Help me. Change my life. Give me a sign. Give me one more chance. Let me make a difference in my life. Lo and behold, I told him, listen, I'm not a bad guy. I was in school. My friends, well, they're not even my friends, just people that I met. They invited me somewhere to come and go shopping, but they had fake cards. And I was just there for the cruise. And I ended up being a victim to that circumstance. And the judge said to me, I remember that day, he said to me, listen, you young man, I got your letter and it was so honest. And I know that you regret being here. And I know that you're never going to do anything to put you in this situation again. Oh my God, what kind of, that was some serious mental health situation that I was in. I was depressed. What kind of level of depression? When I survived that, I said to myself that, listen, there is nothing that this world is going to throw at me that I wouldn't be able to overcome. I said, and you know what? Never. When I went to my mother's funeral, I was speaking to you about that. I stood, because, when you're standing next to a corpse, sometimes you're scared and stuff like that. I made sure that I stood next to her and I told her, even as she was sleeping in that coffin, and I said to her, I said, listen, Mom, I'm going to make you proud. I will make you proud. That is going to be my goal. That is going to be my destiny, is to make you proud. No matter what, as long as I breathe air, I'll make you proud. Amen. And that was it. I felt like I made a promise and I got that closure. So this is where I'm coming from in terms of this mental health situation. And I want people to hear this story. I hope everyone watches this and understand that no matter what you're going through, you have to realize that there is always a way. There's a light beyond that tunnel. Exercise will help you. Stay active, get busy, clear your mind, take courses, take challenges, put yourself through that. So that's my advice.
Guys, I remember that just bringing the topic a bit back. Amdi's mother passed away, and he went to Nigeria to bury her, and he missed that week of class, I remember. But you know something, guys? The week after, he showed up in class. Not 1 month, not 2 months, not 3 months, 1 week, not even a week, it was like 5 days after. He showed up in class with a smile. And you know, guys, for a few minutes, I felt like sometimes I was making drama about things that didn't make sense. Sometimes I was like making a big situation out of nothing. This guy lost his mom. 1 week after was inspiring people in our class. You made me feel like that I was getting sad about the wrong things, that I was choosing the wrong things to get angry about. You really that day made me think about the choices I was taking in my life, in what amount of emotion or thought I will put in situations. That's why I've been telling him for months since I know him. You really can inspire people, and I'm telling you this because thank God my mom is still alive. But I remember when my grandmother died, that destroyed my mother. My mom lost 8-9 kilos. She wasn't eating. She couldn't sleep, and this was for 3-6 months, And my mom, I'm telling you, my mom is a strong man. I think in my 23 years of life, I've seen my mom cry maybe twice or three times. She's strong, you know. So that made me think a lot about taking care of myself mentally, like, you know, like meditate, read, get my brain ready. And sometimes it's very important because, you know, problems are not that big. It's what you do about the problem. Because, you know, everything in life has solution pretty much.
Exactly.
There's only one thing that has no solution. But you know something, if it doesn't have solution, it's not a problem. It's a fact. Like, what's the only thing in life you cannot solve? You cannot buy more time, and you cannot avoid dying. But those are no problems. Those are facts. Because the problem is the thing you can solve. You know, even my grandfather, that he passed away a long time ago, he used to say, if a problem has solution, it's not a problem anymore. And if it doesn't, it's either not a problem anymore either.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, that's a brilliant advice. That's a quote of life. I call that a quote of life. I'm actually writing that down right now. Even though it's going to be recorded, but I had to write it down because, you know, he just took the you know, he just took the words out of our mouths by just making that statement.
Yeah, my mom has been telling me that since I was a kid, you know, and even my dad, he's a really positive guy. I think I got like a lot of like good things about my parents because they are completely different. My dad he's been angry, but mostly I remember I was getting angry about bullshit when I was a kid, but we, you know, like kids. And my dad used to tell me, no problem. If the shoes is broken, we can buy a new one. If the car is broken, you can fix it or buy a new one. You know, maybe you cannot buy the same car or a better one, but you can buy a car, or you can buy another pair of shoes. Maybe they are not the same ones, but at the end you just need them for work, you know. So it's a lot about like the choices we made in life. Like, why are we gonna get angry about this? Are we gonna get angry about this? Because at the end, if you get angry, if you get very angry about the stupid things, that starts to like drain your energy, and you will be a really unhappy person, you know. Which I think there is many people in life that they are not bad, you know. They are not bad people, but they're just very unhappy because their mental health is not good, you know. They are not bad people. Obviously there's bad people in the world, there's like very bad people, but most likely people are just very unhappy, and they are not enjoying their life. That's what they are like, maybe trying to mock others, or they're trying to shame others, you know, because they are not happy with their life.
I agree with that. Everyone is battling their own demons. That's the honest truth. Nobody is perfect. But the most important thing in life is being honest with yourself, realize your imperfection, and improve on it. That is my advice for anyone out there listening. No one's perfect, no matter what situation. Let's not get fooled with social media and all of that. There's someone that I just saw, I can see someone on social media right now doing the best pose, but in real life, they're fighting with a taxi driver downstairs because they refuse to pay the taxi driver. I was like, it could be anything. So I always tell people, social media is not real life.
No.
Let's get that right. No. Let's understand that it's a platform to promote your business or to put positive energy out into the world.
Yeah.
And let's use it for the right things.
Yeah. Being honest with you, social media is a bit of a showcase. So people will show only what they want, what the impression they want to give to society, you know. Because normally you have honest people that inspire, and then you have people that their life is just fake. They just want to like prove, or they want to show someone something that is not the real them, which okay, is your social media, is your profiles. You do whatever you want, but at the end, if you're lying to yourself that way, then you're gonna feel sad after that because you know you are not that person. You know you don't have that car. You don't have that house. You're just trying to impress people that at the end they don't care about you. And when I and you know something, I think humans also coming a bit back about what you just said before. I think sometimes we judge other people and we don't even know what they're going through. Because
Exactly.
you can see a guy that is a bit, let's say, a bit cocky, a bit like, uh, and you will judge him, but maybe this guy has been fighting all his life. He had confident issues all his life, and now he was able to to fight them and win the fight. That's why maybe he looks a bit of like a show off, like a overconfident person. But he's been all his life like a person like that was walking with his head down. He couldn't look other people to the eyes. You never know. You never know. So I still do it because I think it's a human thing, judge others, but I try to do it as less as possible, because it's not healthy, because in order to judge someone, you need to do a deep judgment into yourself first.
I totally agree. You need to look at yourself first. That's always the primary. That's the primary action. You always have to look at yourself first. You look in the mirror, you look at yourself. And then once you work on yourself, then you kind of had the right to start giving people advice. Because you find that some people are giving advice, but they don't even look at themselves. Somebody is telling you how to do something that they've never done before in their life. And that's the problem that we have in the society today, because people just want to give advice on certain things that they have no clue about. So those things need to be rectified. And that's why we're here having this conversation. We're telling our story. We're opening up. We're speaking our piece. And we feel better. This right now, I consider this therapy. I consider this therapy because I will feel so much better after this conversation that we've had. I will feel like, oh my God, like I've just had a brilliant conversation, and I feel like I've opened up and I've spoken about certain things that I've spoken about something here that I've never spoken about in a long time. And I feel much better that I've opened up and I've spoken, and I feel good. I feel good about it.
Yeah, of course. Because sometimes you just need that. You just need, let's say, to meet your boys or to meet one of your friends. And I'm like, fuck, man, I feel like shit, I had this issue, da, 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 da. And after that, even if it's half an hour only, you're going to leave the place or you're going to like go back home and you're going to feel that the backpack is weighing less. It's just
Exactly.
lighter, because you just drop all the rocks, all the stones that you had in your back. You just throw them away. You just throw them away with your friend, and now you feel better. That's a way that you get ready in order to be happier. Just open yourself up. It's nothing wrong with that, guys. You feel shit. There's nothing bad about it. We all go through that. Even there's no one in this planet that has been happy all his life.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yes, but and the last question of the day, my brother, because I know you are a guy that has been in every aspect in life. You mostly fight all the battles possible. What's your approach to failing?
Well, I must say, you've asked some really great questions, and this is the final question. And I really love this question because I would always say to people about failing, first, accept how you feel, accept the failure. Just because you failed doesn't mean that it should set you back. Be constructive, learn from the situation, remind yourself, anyone who wants to do things with value in life must be willing to fail. Let it out there into the light. Find inspiration, find support. I find inspiration in so many people. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. This guy, biggest movie star. But guess what? When he tells you his story, he was evicted from his house when he was how old? He started off as a wrestler, as a professional wrestler. He smashed it. He went into Hollywood. He smashed it. He wasn't the greatest actor, but he was dedicated to his craft. Another person, Anthony Joshua, a boxer. He started boxing late, but he's dedicated. He became the heavyweight champion of the world. He had a setback. He came back and won back his belt. Tyson Fury, depressed, mental health issues. He came back. He won his championship. Muhammad Ali, a lot of great people out there. Accept the failure. Like, I remember going to Nigeria to make music, and all of a sudden I signed with a record label, and they started treating me in a certain way because they just felt like they had control over me, because maybe they were trying to fund the project and stuff like that. But I said to myself that I can't do anything that's not going to make me happy. My happiness must come first. So I left everything. I walked away. It was going to cost me. It was going to cost me a few things, but I was willing to take that risk because I know that happiness is what counts. I'm not scared to fail. All I'm scared about is how am I going to take that failure? Am I going to lay down on the ground and say, you know what, I give up? Because I will never give up in anything in my life. I will never give up. No matter what. As long as I'm breathing, I will never give up. I will push to the boundary. I will fight till the end. I will do whatever it takes to get to where I need to be. And that's the same mindset that everyone else should have. Because guess what? No one is God. Thank God that God is not a man. Hey, thank God. Because you know what? Because if he was a man, then we're in trouble, isn't it? We are in deep trouble.
Yeah,
because
thank God he's God. Because if he was a human,
exactly. Because I'll tell you what, people would they would do everything possible to talk you down, to make you feel like you're not good enough, to make you feel like you can't do this, you can't do that. But guess what, man? That's what life is about. It's all about trials and tribulations. Every successful person, to every degree, they have their story. They'll tell you their story. They'll tell you what they've been through. People will hide behind their smiles and try and act like everything is great, which is fair enough. But when it's time to talk, you better talk, because if you don't talk, it will haunt you. It will weigh you down eventually.
That's it.
So like I said to you before we started this interview, I was willing to talk. I was willing to share my story, because guess what? It helps me with my own mental health. It helps me feel better.
Yeah.
When I talk about it, every problem that you have, once you share it, it's already at least 40% solved.
Yeah,
because you've accepted it.
Yeah, you spoke, right? And that's the most important part, when you accept the problem and exactly. When you recognize, okay, I have a problem. When you say to yourself, okay, I have an issue, there's a problem I need to solve. You already solve over half of your problem, because the most difficult part is to recognize that you have that problem. And speaking about failure, before, I always wanted to, before, I'm telling you, when I was younger, 13, 14, I wanted to impress everyone. And you know what happened? I had a few bad months in high school. So after that, everything went dark to me. I was kicked out from 3 different high schools. I failed 1 year. I failed another year. It was horrible. Even my parents, for an instance, they lost their hope on me, because I got arrested a few times as well, but only small things, nothing very serious as it happened to you. And no one would have put a bet on me when I was 15, 16 years old. You know what I mean? No one. I landed in the last high school, the one I graduated, and I started new. No one knew me there, so it was like a fresh start for me. And since day one, I got my mom a bit my mom, I think she was a bit depressed because I was doing so bad at the school. They were calling her, and they kicked me out from 3 different schools. You know how parents feel about that, and especially black parents. And I remember I was almost 17. I already failed like 1 or 2 years in high school, and I went to my mom and I told her, I promise you this time is gonna be different. And my mom told me, I believe you this time. And my mom grabbed my hand and she told me, I know you can do anything you want. After that, I passed my 3 years straight away with like very, very high marks. And when I came to the UK, my English wasn't not even good. My English wasn't good. It was bad. Because in the first month when I arrived to the UK, I couldn't barely understand any of my flatmates or my course mates. I prepared my interview for university for 4 months, so I got it right. And guess what? I have a degree now in a language that I didn't masterize. So, anything is possible.
Is nothing.
Everything is possible. You just need
everything is possible.
And you know something? I was able to have success because I drank failure for years. Since I was like 12 till I was 17, I was getting kicked out from here, kicked out from there. No one wanted me to be in their school. Most of the teachers I had, they never liked me. They told me I was a loser. They told me I was not going to do nothing with my life. That was for 5 years in my life. But guess what? Even some of them apologized to me when they saw in Facebook me with because I did a post with my degree. Some of them even apologized to me for not believing in me. And I'm just getting started. I'm only 23 years old, and something, the world is very big and the opportunities are endless. So I'm looking for more. I'm grateful because God have gave me everything in life. But I'm yet not satisfied. So we're going for more. I know you're going for more as well.
Yes. 100%.
And thank you guys. Thank you for being today here, for coming to watch the whole podcast. We probably will have a second episode in a few months because the conversations with Amdi, they're just different. They're just very good. So my brother, I don't know how I could thank you about this one. Thank you very much.
I appreciate this. And you know what? Let's just, that we will keep our head up. We'll keep striving. We'll keep working. For anyone out there that's, that relates to the conversation we're having now, that you're suffering from, you've experienced any mental health issues, keep your head up, speak to someone, take a hobby, exercise and everything, and God be with you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, man.